Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's me, Muadi. I hope that your morning is off to a good start. If it's morning where you are, it's morning where I am. I'm in Boston, and the skies are kind of cloudy, but the birds are still flying high and singing. And I'm actually starting this morning feeling really, really good and with a sense of clarity and just gratitude for everything that I have been discovering and learning and uncovering during this quarantine period. And over the next couple of weeks, days, whatever, I don't know how long, I'm going to just be sharing some of my observations and my experiences in hopes that it can support those of you who need some support. One of the things that I have really come to a deeper understanding of is the importance of reciprocity in your relationships, in our relationships. I'm not talking about with children. You know, if you're under the age of 18 or a young person, I think that there needs to be, it makes sense that there is disparity and a little bit of imbalance because, you know, as elders, I believe it's our responsibility to impart wisdom and forgiveness and understanding for young people as they come up and as they grow up into this world. So I don't expect, for example, for my 18-year-old nephew, I don't expect that we're always going to be imbalanced in our relationship. My expectation is that, you know, there will be times when he makes mistakes or does things that are not aligned with what I think he should be doing. And as the adult in the relationship, I believe it's my responsibility to correct him when necessary, but also look at him with some understanding and some compassion and love. And with respect, right? So if I do something that hurts his feelings or somehow makes him feel disrespected or whatever, of course, you know, my hope, I encourage him and my nephews and nieces to bring it to my attention, you know, try to work that out. But at the core, though, of that relationship as aunt, niece, aunt, nephew, mother, child, there is an imbalance. And I believe an expectation that we, the elder, need to do more. And have a little bit more understanding, a little bit more patience, and give more. When it comes to our adult relationships, however, I think that reciprocity must be a requirement. Otherwise, it allows for imbalance and resentment to creep into that space. When I was in my teens, 20s, maybe even into my early 30s, I had this need to take care of other people, pick up other people's battles, argue for them, defend them, oftentimes at the expense of doing my own thing. And we can go into all the reasons behind that, but it didn't always serve me. And I often found myself in situations where I'm giving, or I was giving, and the person who was receiving just kept on receiving, but didn't really give back with any sense of real balance and reciprocity. And I would feel resentful, sometimes not even aware that the resentment had set in, not understanding what that uneasy feeling was, but just knowing that something wasn't right. And as I've gotten older and I have worked on that aspect of myself that felt that I needed to do that for approval, for a relationship, whatever, that's less and less of my MO. I don't do that as often. And every once in a while, I'll catch myself falling into that pattern, and then something, God, consciousness, universe, a circumstance, a happening will occur that will remind me to put self first. And not from a selfish perspective, but to really make sure that in all my relationships, even those where I am called upon to give more or do more, that I am not allowing myself to be taken advantage of, or to be disrespected, or to feel that I somehow have to edit myself and give more to this person or that person while he or she just sort of goes off and does their own thing. And some of you will have that experience where you give, and then when you need, folks are ghosts, nowhere to be found. Sometimes it's helpful to bring that to people's awareness, because sometimes, people aren't always aware of how you're experiencing them, or, you may be a really giving person, so they might not even really notice the imbalance. And in those cases where you're able to articulate that imbalance and get the attention, the response that's respectful and understanding, some contrition and a desire for people to do better, that's gravy, that's awesome. Sometimes, however, you will make that known to the people over and over and over again, and yet they don't move. Then it's your time to move, right? Reciprocity must be a requirement, I believe, in our adult relationships. Otherwise, it becomes imbalanced. resentment comes into play, and you, oftentimes, if you are the giver, end up being on the receiving end of a sort of spiritual disrespect, for want of a better term. Yeah. So as you're going through this pandemic and your isolation, be just mindful of who's checking in on you, and be mindful of how your most intimate relationships are unfolding, things that are coming to your attention. I heard Iyanla Vanzant said that the other day, I was watching her show, Fear Not, it's awesome, that it's not just enough to do the self-discovery. We have to be clear about what we do with what we find. And oftentimes, we find stuff, but we don't act on it. We find stuff and we ignore it. We find stuff, we sweep it under the rug and hope that it goes away until it pops up again, and then you have to deal with it again. And then the upset reoccurs, right? So I want to encourage you this week to really look at your relationships, your personal relationships, your grown adult relationships, your intimate relationships, and just take the temperature, right? Do a self-check and see where there is imbalance. And if you see that there is imbalance, I want to encourage you to have the courage to speak up. Because if you can't speak up and have adult, fearless conversations with the people in your life, and if the people are not willing to have those conversations with you and be really honest and get down into the dirt, but really peel the curtains back and peel the layers back and have a real deep conversation, then that is an invitation for you to really examine that relationship and ask yourself where it needs to be placed in the grand scheme of your life. All right? That's it. I hope you all have a great day. I intend to have a fabulous day. It's already off to a great start. I saw one of my sisters during my run. One of my brothers just texted me with some great news that he's experiencing right now. So the day is starting off great. I hope yours is too. I'll see y'all soon. Okay? Bye.